Hello everybody, welcome to the hello everybody, welcome to That's Football. I'm Mark Goldbridge and this is our live watch-along of PSG against Real Madrid in the semi-final of the Club World Cup. These are two good teams and this could be a cracker. I hope you're ready. They are delayed a little bit, which is why I delayed myself a little bit because I could have been live 5 minutes ago, but I thought I'm not talking for 15 minutes. Before the game's kicked off, because this potentially could be quite a long night. It could go extra time and penalties. And the way the Club World Cup works is you never know if there's going to be, traffic jams or, half-time performances or, overtime or whatever they call it. So, I thought I would keep it back as long as possible. It is on Channel 5. I don't know why Chelsea wasn't on Channel 5 last night, but it is on Channel 5. It's very hot in New York, and it's just gone 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And having been in New York quite recently, let me tell you, it's hot. They should fill this out because I would imagine that most people would be interested in watching PSG play Real Madrid anywhere in the world. The Mbappe effect. The best team in the world against the biggest name in the world. So this should be a game that actually does sell out. Is Rodrigo going to go to Arsenal, says Braxton? Well, judging by the team selections tonight, I would imagine that there is a good chance of that happening. Well, there's a chance of that happening because you've got no Rodrigo in the team again. He is on the bench again for the 4th game in a row. So PSG is Dembele, Doué, Kvaratskhelia, Vitinha, Ruiz, Neves, Hakimi, Marquinhos, Beraldo, Mendes, Donnarumma. Fantastic side. And then Real Madrid is Courtois, Asensio, Tchouaméni, Rudiger, Valverde, Fran Garcia, Golaire, Bellingham, Garcia, Vinicius Jr. and Mbappe. An incredible bench as well, which includes the likes of Rodrigo, Modric, Militao, Camavinga, Ceballos, Carvajal, Diaz. All those players are there. The PSG bench ain't too bad either. You've got Barcola on there, Ramos on there, Zaire Emery on there. But it's a funny time in football, isn't it? I'm looking forward to this one because, as we know, I did a little... In fact, do me a favour, because if you haven't seen this anyway, you should go and see it, because I'm not going to give you spoilers away. But I have an Instagram account called Goldbridge Hot Takes. If you're on Instagram, we'll do this live now. We're on 7,970 followers. So if we could hit 8,000 while we're live, that'd be great. But it's called Goldbridge Hot Takes on Insta. So let's see if anybody actually is nice enough to go over there and give it a follow while I'm looking at it. But I did do a video today, a little reel today on there about the earnings that you earn from the Club World Cup. So anybody who's under the disillusion that PSG and Real Madrid won't take this game seriously, they really, really will. They massively, massively will, because they've earned about £80 million so far. If they win it, they'll go north of £100 million, both of these clubs. So Chelsea have already made 80. But if Real Madrid or PSG win it, they'll make about 100, 110. Because every club's getting paid different. I think Real Madrid had to get a bit of extra because they were talking about not going to go there. So they will take this very seriously because it's another 10, 20, 30 million. So we should get a good game. I'm actually... I always said I'd probably tune in for the last few games of this tournament. So it should be a good one. Thanks for the follows. We're only 10 away from 8,000 now, so 30 of you are nice. Goldbridge Hot Takes on Insta help us get to 8,000. Nice little account. I'm enjoying doing it. Yeah, so who's going to win? Let's do a little bit of a poll. Who wins? You decide. Well, you don't, actually, but you can guess. PSG or Real Madrid? Let us know. I actually think PSG are better than Real Madrid, but I have a feeling Madrid might win because I think PSG looked a little bit tired against Bayern, but Bayern didn't have the conviction to beat them. Whereas Real Madrid, Mbappe point to prove they might do. But I do think PSG are better than Real Madrid. I look at this Real Madrid side and I think that they are 100% in need of a change. I think Ancelotti did a great job, but it was time for change. And Alonso obviously is a different direction completely. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing the evolution of Real Madrid next season, because Barcelona are certainly the best team in Spain, and PSG are certainly the best team in the world. And that won't change if they get beat tonight, because the Club World Cup really isn't about who the best team in the world is, because Chelsea could win it, with all due respect. So, who do I think will win this? I don't think we're going to see the best Real Madrid and the best PSG because of the time of year it's being played. But I've got a feeling that Real Madrid might win it. Just bought tickets for Sunday, says Schofield, $850. I thought they'd be giving them away. Why they got tracksuit tops on, says Lynn. Yeah, good point. Is this how every game has been starting at the Club World Cup? It's absolutely ridiculous. Yeah. It's shit, mate. It's absolutely shit. The game was meant to kick off at 8 o'clock. It's been put back to 10 past 8 so that they can do all these walkouts. Yeah, Rodrigo not starting again. Katie Watson says, I was follow at 8,015. Yeah, give us a follow on Goldbridge Hot Takes on Instagram. We're trying to get to 8,000. That's brilliant if it's done that. We've gone past 8,000. You're great. Legends, thank you very much for the follows. What team do you want to win? I've just spat out a bit of food. I'm not going to eat it. Disgusting. I'd like PSG to win. I'd like PSG to win it all. I think I'm not a fan of the Club World Cup because I don't feel it has integrity, because it doesn't have the best teams in it. But if PSG win it, at least it makes sense. I'd like PSG to win it all because they are the best team in the world. And therefore, if they win the Club World Cup, at least you can say, well, they were the best team in the world. Whereas, I think if Real Madrid or Chelsea win it, with all due respect, they're going to struggle to say they're the best team in the world because they didn't win the Champions League and they didn't win their domestic league. And that's the problem with the tournament. But, so yeah, for the integrity of it, I think PSG need to win it. But I've got a feeling Real Madrid might win tonight. Is that PSG... Nicholas says, is that PSG team top 3 team we have ever seen? I think that's way too early to say that, mate. You know, it was only, 6 months ago. They weren't finishing in the top 8 of the Champions League stage. They've had a brilliant end to the season and they've peaked at the right time. But I don't think we're in a position where we can say they're one of the best teams ever. I think they've got to do it again and again. So, no, I don't think they're one of the best teams ever. They're a good team to watch, but they definitely peaked at the right time. Mbappe and Vinicius don't work, says Ferris. I do think that the team works better now in the short time that Alonso's been there than it did last year. I mean, I felt sorry for Ancelotti having to shoehorn Mbappe into a team that was already... I mean, the stupid thing about Real Madrid was that I remember watching that Champions League final against Dortmund just over a year ago, and they were the best team in the world, and they were a young team. And I thought, you know what? They're going to probably dominate world football for the next 5 years. And they dismantled it. Rodrigo, Vinicius Jr., Bellingham as a false 9, Camavinga in the midfield, Valverde. All right, they had to replace Modric and Kroos, but they were looking like a team that was set up to dominate for years. And then they bring Mbappe in and completely break it. And now they've got to build it again. It was just a weird move. Can you turn the volume up? It's absolutely fine, mate. Nothing wrong with my volume. Turn yours up. So yeah, look, Real Madrid are sort of in the situation of having to rebuild because of their own naivety. But we're up and running here. Hopefully we're going to get a good game. Let's get ready to rumble. That was the guy, wasn't it? Michael Buffer. Prior to Luis Enrique joining PSG, did you regard him as a top coach or did you view him as a hipster manager? I think he did a good job at Barcelona power back. I wouldn't say I thought he was a hipster manager. I thought he was a good manager. I didn't expect him to do what he's done at PSG. I think PSG has been a graveyard for many a manager. Madrid perform best when they are not favourites, says GSS. And this is the thing that PSG have got to deal with now. Possession and being a favourite. Do you think Sunderland will stay up this year, says Northumberland agent? I think that Burnley, Leeds and Sunderland need to start the season well. And they need, lovely play by Real Madrid, they need teams like Brentford or Wolves to have a really bad year. Therefore, I don't think they'll all stay up now. Real Madrid starting on the front foot. And it's an early corner. Tchouameni with the shot. Thoughts on Crystal Palace being thrown out of the Europa League? They haven't been thrown out yet, have they? Do Real Madrid play a 3-4-3? I haven't seen enough of them. I don't think they are playing a 3-4-3, are they? Go on. Good play. Lovely play here. Doué down the right-hand side. He's got loads of players on him, though, but he does well to keep the ball there. Very well. Switch. They're normally very good at switching there. Real Madrid had a massive overload on the left-hand side, and if they've got it wide, which they have done now to Kvaratskhelia, there is a bit of a space for him to run into the box, and he does, and it's the side netting. That's what they do so well, PSG. They switch. They switch it so well. I've not seen a team in a long time who uses wing play like PSG, and also the way that they can switch the play very, very well. Vinicius Jr. on the wing is crazy. Rodrigo is 100% gone with Vinny on the right. I just hope we get a good game. Stephen says, as a Chelsea fan, we want PSG. Look, this tournament, you'd normally, if this was the Champions League, you'd say Chelsea are massive underdogs on Sunday night against Real Madrid or PSG. But this is almost like exhibition football. And it's been a great equaler, hasn't it? We've seen Al Hilal beat Man City. We've seen Brazilian teams do really well. I think Chelsea have got a chance on Sunday. Here's Dembele. Nice little ball out wide. It's a progressive start by both teams. Who do I think suits Chelsea better? I think Chelsea got a better chance against Real Madrid, to be honest. Real Madrid are a work in progress, whereas PSG are the finished article, and if they turn up, they're a bloody hard team to beat. Good save by Courtois. That's how you do goalkeeping, by the way, Anana. Look at the way that's two bits of brilliant goalkeeping there by Courtois. One, the save. Two, where he puts the ball. I think this is something that so many people don't understand about goalkeeping. They admire the save and they miss what happens to the ball. Courtois is brilliant at this. De Gea was as well. The save is always good, but then what they do with the ball is great. Oh my Christ. He's just done something even better. Dembele, cross, 6-yard box, dead centre. It's got to be a goal, and it's not. Absolutely world-class save that by Courtois. And now it's Real Madrid coming forward. They're going to get their chance with Mbappe. Good block. That was amazing. That was absolutely amazing. Well, we've got a good game here. Forget the tournament. Well, don't forget the tournament. It's Real Madrid against PSG, and it started off fantastically. I don't know how look, it's one of those where Dembele has missed a sitter. but the goalkeepers pulled off a worldie. The battle of the goalkeepers, says T. 2 good goalkeepers out there. Thanks for your early super chats from Reese and Danilias and GSS and Powerback and Nicholas and Katie. Where does Modric rank in terms of midfielders, says Thierry? Oh, he's one of the best, mate. I mean, give me people you want to compare him to. I mean, Zidane's better than him. But PSG are just pinging the... I tell you what, PSG look a lot better than they did against Bayern. Oh, terrible mistake. Goal. They are rampant. They're like rampant rabbits. They're buzzing everywhere and they're causing excitement for the receiver. And we are the receiver because we are the viewer and we are being entertained here. It's Ruiz with the goal. I mean, I don't know whether there would have been a decision to be made for the referee anyway, but it's crappy defending by Real Madrid, and Rudiger, he's fell off. But it's PSG have started off very, very well, and they've looked very, very dangerous. It's a simple ball into Doué. It finds its way to... it's not Rudiger who makes the mistake, is it? Who's that making the mistake there? I mean, he could have given a penalty up there, but Dembele's there quick. I think that would have been a penalty, but Ruiz was there to tap it in anyway. I genuinely think that probably was a penalty. Asensio makes the mistake. It was a wild attempt to try and win it back. I think it probably was a penalty on Dembele, but it didn't matter because Ruiz was there to tap it into an empty net, and it's 1-0 to PSG. Not sure why our score's not updating here because it definitely is 1-0. There we go. Just taking its time. Well, it's Real Madrid on the attack now. Oh, what a cross by Vinny. Lovely cross by Vinny. But no one's there. Look at that. 69% possession for PSG already. And we've had 4 shots with 3 on target in what? The first 7 minutes. What? Take a picture of that. Take a picture of that. 7 minutes in, 4 shots, 3 on target. This is football. Welcome to That's Football. Make sure you subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. Actually, do make sure you subscribe. We're only 40 subscribers away from 361,000. We're on 360,960. So please do subscribe. We've got daily content on That's Football, and everybody's welcome. Whether you're a Real Madrid fan, a PSG fan, it could be worse for PSG. It's a lovely finish by Dembele. They're doing to Real Madrid what they did to Inter Milan in the Champions League final. They are 2-0 up in the first 8 minutes. They are running wild. Diarrhea defending from Real Madrid. Absolute shit. And it's Rudiger that they put the cameras on again, but I'm not going to make that mistake again. It might not be his fault, but Real Madrid are a mess. And Dembele playing as that false 9 or whatever. He's not a false 9. He's a real 9. He's absolutely real. 35th goal this season. Ballon d'Or winner. Absolutely. He's got to win the Ballon d'Or, by the way. He has. I wanted to bring that in anyway. But Dembele Ballon d'Or, 100%. 100%. It is Rudiger that time. It's a lovely finish, though, because Courtois is a good goalkeeper in a one-on-one. But Real Madrid, 2-0 down here. I don't know what you're thinking, Chelsea fans, but it might not be... I mean, to be fair, it's crap defending, but... They've got a mountain to climb now. An absolute mountain to climb. PSG. This is why I want PSG to win it, because they are the best team in the world. They're getting owned here, says System. My lady just left me last night. Had to pack all my stuff and move out after 2 years, says who to blame. Well, who is to blame? Chin up, mate. But we need a little bit more info. As I always say, nothing ever lasts forever. But I hope you're doing well. And tell us a little bit more. This is a random question. Why do broadcasts from America have that weird hazy look on TV? Like you're viewing a game from Italia 90 or Mexico 86? This is a great question from Nick P. They do have a bit of a hazy look to them, don't they? Is it the weather, do we think? It does have a bit of an Italia 90 vibe, doesn't it? PSG are next level, says CM. Could this PSG side make back-to-back Champions League, says Mozza? I don't know. I don't know, because I do think that the Premier League clubs are looking very, very strong next season. And everyone's going to be out to beat PSG. Wonder how long Alonso's going to last. Rest in peace, Spurs, August 13th in the Super Cup, says TJ. Yeah, but it just depends how seriously PSG take it. Like, you know, they are being asked a lot. Kenneth says, Inter Milan, yes, that's what they did to us. Do you see a way back for Real Madrid? You never know. You never know in football. 2 mistakes, 2 goals, as somebody in the chat just said, called Jason. But you never know. You never know. Look, I was going to have the debate, not knowing what was going to happen, but I think that we have seen criminality when it comes to Ballon d'Ors in the past. Lewandowski, Ribéry years come to mind. Even Haaland, I think, probably should have won it one year. But if Dembele doesn't win the Ballon d'Or this year, there's something very, very strange going on. I'm not saying you need to win the Champions League to win the Ballon d'Or, but he's lit it up this season, and I feel that the Ballon d'Or should go to the player that's been best that season, not necessarily the best player in the world. They fell into that mistake before. Well, Ronaldo and Messi are God-given talent, so it's got to be one of them. But actually, somebody might have a better season than them, and that's what we're talking about with Dembele. He's clearly had the best season in world football, so he should win it. Here's Mendes, incredible pace, but that won't be enough to get past Asensio on that occasion. Oh, I'm loving this. I'm actually enjoying this. Thanks for tuning in. Would you take Raul Jimenez at United, says Henry? Oh, stop depressing me, Henry. I mean, of course we probably would, but it's not what we should be doing. Leon are back in League One, says Milford. Thank you, AA. At least Bayern gave them a game, says GJ. I actually thought Real Madrid would do a bit better because Bayern did. I feel like Bayern could have done something in that game. Any thoughts on the Ancelotti charges? I don't really know anything about them, Justin. That's not a cop-out. If someone tells me about it, I might be able to have a look while we're here. I saw something about a year in prison, but I didn't really spend any time reading it. And it's not even... Oh, here we go. Ancelotti gets jail term for tax evasion, but will not go to prison. Brazil manager Ancelotti has been sentenced to a year in prison by a Spanish court for tax evasion, but he will not have to serve a time in jail. The former Chelsea and Everton boss was accused of failing to pay €1 million in tax on his salary during his first star spell in 2013 to 15. He will avoid prison, but does have to pay a fine of £333,000. I mean, I don't know the detail of it, but he didn't pay £830,000 in tax, but has to pay a fine of £333,000. Just literally doesn't add up, does it? So don't pay your tax of 800 grand and pay a fine of 300 grand when you get found guilty. It's almost a tax, avoid tax, isn't it? Mountains are there to be climbed, says AA. Yeah, look, 2-0 2-0's a funny score in football. You get one back, you get the momentum. But what I love about football and what I love about PSG is that they have shown you're better off building a team. And Mbappe symbolises something that's very important in football. Team always outweighs the individual. If you look at Argentina with Messi, best player in the world, etc., They won the World Cup because the team around him worked for him and with him and contributed. You look at PSG post Real Madrid, they've built a team and they've won the Champions League. You look at Real Madrid with Mbappe, they've lost the Champions League and they've lost La Liga. It's not Mbappe's fault. It's just that Mbappe didn't work in the PSG system and he doesn't work in the Real Madrid system. And they're going to have to build a system that works with Mbappe. But some owners of football clubs, PSG did it, and Real Madrid have done it, and many other clubs have done it. They just get lost in, let's buy the best players and we'll win the league and we'll win the Champions League. But it's not always the way. That player has to be compatible. It's like what I was saying last night about Erling Haaland and Liverpool. I think he's the worst player for their system. I don't think he works, even though he's arguably the best striker in the world. Knowing Sanchez will be in goal makes me sick, although the amount of assists he could get could be impressive for a goalkeeper. Shame it'd be against us, says Matthew Lunn. Don't give up, Matthew. Chelsea have had a dream Club World Cup. I know loads of Chelsea fans that have really enjoyed it. And to be honest with you, I think if United were in it, as much as I think the tournament's a bit of a mistake and hasn't really run as well as it could, I would have watched it and enjoyed it. So enjoy it, Chelsea fans. You're in the final. You're going to play the best team in the world. If you lose, there's no shame in that. If you win, you know, you made a lot of money, and you know, I think it's a no-lose situation for Chelsea on Sunday. Do you think PSG will win the Champions League next year, Mark? I'm going to say no. I think it's very hard to win back-to-back Champions Leagues in the modern format. I think there's so much money in it now. It is the modern Super League, and I think it's going to be very competitive. Barcelona will be good. All 4 Premier League clubs are going to be strong. I think we'll see a Premier. I think we're overdue a Premier League winner. And I know we've had Man City and Chelsea recently, but I really do think I think Liverpool thought they were going to win it, and they got caught out by the intensity of PSG in the last 16. And I think that is something that Slot's going to look at this season, and that's why he's gone with a slightly bigger transfer window. He's trying to equip his squad for a longer season. But everybody looks better. 6 Premier League teams. Yeah, I don't think Newcastle and Spurs are going to do anything. If they can get to the knockout stages or the last 8, it'd be great for them. But I think Chelsea, Arsenal, Liverpool, and Man City are all better squads this season than last. That must be awkward. Infantino sat between the CEOs or presidents of Real Madrid and PSG. I wouldn't like that. Chelsea will have a tough season ahead with no rest and pre-season at all, says Nicholas. They're going to have to rotate a lot. I do worry about the likes of Cole Palmer. The volume of football he's going to have to play. And it's not, it's not just... I heard somebody say today, Cole Palmer's played all this football. He's going to go straight into a Premier League season. Then we're going to put him straight into a World Cup. And then people forget that when he comes back from the World Cup, he's going straight into another season. Like, his next potential break is in 2 years. That's mad. When you've not had a break for a year, his next potential break is 2 years away. You've got to factor in a break, haven't you? As a manager, you've got to look at that. Thank you very much to Matthew and Nicholas for your super chats. No chance these French mugs can get past Colwill, Tossin, Reese and Cucurella, but that's just my opinion, says Graham. He's confident. Vitinha for Ballon d'Or. He's won it all, says Andre. Yeah, but he won't win the Ballon d'Or. Palmer had the Euros last year as well, yeah. Cooper says, oh, here we go. Vinicius Jr., one-on-one. Brilliant tackle. Absolutely brilliant tackle. Mendes. Best left back in the world, I think, this at the moment. Recovery pace there was insane. Vinny was through, waiting for the bounce, and then Mendes just took it away. We've only had 20 minutes in this game. It feels a lot longer. It's been really good. And that's the thing about PSG. You talk about their ability to switch the play, move the ball, but defensively they're very good as well. Do you think Portugal could win the World Cup? Not with that Pratt in charge. It's a bit like when Belgium had him. Martinez is a crap coach. It's a big problem. Like, it's a very big problem. I don't know how he got the job. Such a waste. Spanish Southgate. Yeah, they're such a good team, though. Hakimi, I think, is one of the best right-backs in the world. Mendes, we've just spoken about. Marquinhos is very, very good. Lovely ball down the flank again, and Doué will get there. Needs a bit of support in the corner. Does well. Lovely play. They play such lovely football. What a ball that is by Batinha out to... It's that switch of the play again. Here's Kvaratskhelia. Oh, he's looking for that. Doesn't quite get it. Wins the ball back. PSG being the best team in the world and playing in League One is an extraordinary advantage. They can rotate players without worry and rest at any time. To City all the way. But you know what, mate? You make a great point, and I agree with it. But for years, we used to have this discussion saying that it was a disadvantage for Bayern Munich and PSG because they hit March, their seasons are won, and they sort of go into the Champions League knockout stage and they're not as intense and up to speed as they would be if their league was competitive. But actually, I think you're right, it's been an advantage this year. I think the more games that are being played, the better it is if you can rest. Mbappe gets a shot off, but it's very tame. What are your thoughts? What are your Ballon d'Or rankings, Mark? Keep up the good work. Oh, yeah, somebody said that about Rafinha, Brad. His stats are very good. Probably about 2 months ago, I think Rafinha should have won the Ballon d'Or. I thought he'd had the best season in world football. I'm not saying he's the best player, but I felt he'd had a really good season. But what's happened in the last 2 months? It's got to be Dembele. People who blame Mbappe have no idea what they're talking about. Madrid are embarrassing at the back. If I'm Perez, I'm putting 125 million and 500k a week at Saliba or even Canate, says Owen. Look, I don't disagree with you, Owen, that Real Madrid's defence is shocking at times, and we've seen it again today. And they're in again here. If they score this, Hakimi, 3-0. That breakaway is absolutely majestic. Absolutely majestic. The way they go from Real Madrid on the attack to breaking away and carving through them like a hot knife through butter is sensational. They ended up on the break with a 4v2, and it was like a training ground exercise. Ridiculously embarrassing for Real Madrid. Ruthlessly effective from PSG. Another footballing lesson. So soon, hot on the heels of what they did to Inter in the Champions League, they are destroying Real Madrid in front of an American crowd that will be thinking, who is this PSG side? They will be winning a lot of friends in this tournament. Best team in the world, absolutely fantastic. And Ruiz has his second goal. Liquid football, this, from PSG. It's so good. It's so good. We're getting a real footballing listen here. Viran says it's absolute cinema. It's absolutely over. The question is, how big can it get? PSG being the best team in the world, done that one from there. Good evening from Mallorca, Mark. Hope you're well. Well, I was well, Elizabeth, until you said that. I want to be in Mallorca as well. Takes me back to however many years ago when I used to sit and do my 8 o'clock show on the beach. Good times. Should watch Shelburne versus Linfield Champions League now on RTE2, says Pip. Well, I haven't got RTE2 for a start. Let's go Real Madrid. Losing by 3 or more. We will be there. I'm a Barca fan, so it's fair, says Abbas. Xabi to get the sack before season starts. Alonso, says Jide. PSG have been phenomenal since the quarterfinals and still at it. You have to admire it as a football fan, and this is without superstars. Look, I think PSG deserve to beat Arsenal, and I think PSG deserve to beat Liverpool, but I do think in that second leg at Villa Park, when Villa were 1 goal away from getting back into it, and they had the momentum, I think Emery made 2 bad subs. Took Rashford and McGinn off, and if they'd have got the equaliser, who knows what would have happened. But that's the brilliant thing about football. PSG are worthy holders of the best team in the world title. But you can get at them. The key is a good defence, and Real Madrid just don't have it. I mean, look at the space that Doué's got. Why are Real Madrid over? I mean, this is Alonso's tactic. Look at the overload. We saw this in the first 5 minutes. That they overload one side of the pitch, and this is just so naive. Look how overloaded it is. They're going to switch the ball in a minute, and Doué's going to be in acres. It's a strange, strange tactic to do this against PSG. Got to be very careful here. It's a humbling for Real Madrid, though. And, ooh, that's late. Yellow card, Tchouaméni. Frustration tackle that. PSG popping the ball around, and you don't want to see that on Hakimi. Yeah, that's a frustration tackle. 100%. Talk to me. Have we got any Real Madrid fans or followers? What's your plans in the summer transfer window? Because I haven't really seen anything about Real Madrid. I know Hulson came in, didn't he? But apparently they're not going to replace Rodrigo. Oh, and Trent has come in as well. But I'm not watching it on DAZN. I'm watching it on Channel 5. I presume they've got money. Oh, Alvaro Fernandez is going to come in from Benfica. He's a good player. But I mean, I don't agree with his team. I mean, why is Camavinga not playing? I think Valverde's injured, isn't he? Here we go again. Dembele down the right-hand side to Hakimi. It's going to win a corner. Oh, Valverde is playing, sorry. I don't know what I'm talking about. He's playing at right back. That's why I was looking at the midfield. Yeah, I don't know what he's doing with this team. It's a weird team. But then again, he's got to evolve it into his own way, hasn't he? In a way, it's very similar to what Amorim's doing at Man United. Real Madrid do traditionally play with a 4-3-3, don't they? And that's not what Alonso is. And I think that can be problematic. Everyone's excited about it at the start, like they were with Amorim. But when the results don't happen, people are like, why are we playing like this? And he might find that. I mean, look, you're going to win a lot of games with Real Madrid, aren't you, in La Liga? But Viking says PSG could do with Rashford, says Viking. I think he's the player that they're missing. You know, I think they don't realise just how much they're missing Rashford, actually. I think Villa's near comeback was due to PSG taking their foot off the gas after scoring their 4th or 5th goal. Yeah, that's what I mean, Suleiman. I mean, they were very good in I mean, look, Villa lost 1-0, didn't they, in Paris? They could have lost 5. So you've got to, if you're going to play against PSG, you've got to defend well, because they will, as we've seen here, as we saw against Inter. I remember that first leg against Liverpool in Paris where Liverpool actually won. They overwhelm you. You've got to defend well against them to stay in the game. I don't think anybody's found a way yet. Drinks break. I don't think anybody's found a way yet to deal with this. I think the exciting thing about PSG is that it's the death of Pep ball, really. It's the new thing. Just like Barcelona all those years ago with Pep was a new style that people were like, oh my God, what do you do with this? Enrique's style is something at the moment that I haven't seen anybody get close to going toe-to-toe with them. You can beat them. You've got to defend well, and you've got to take your chances. But I don't think there's anybody in world football that can go toe-to-toe with them at the moment. And that's good, because I want to see people looking at PSG and going, this is how we should be playing, because I know a lot of people liked Pep ball, but for me, I found it a bit pragmatic, a bit dull. Killer of flair players, really. Doesn't really want players taking people on. And I like this style of football because it's direct, it's quick, it's wing play. It's energetic, it's intense. Let's not forget Courtois made a world-class save at 0-0 as well. So yeah, look, I'm hoping that there's going to be a lot of people looking at PSG and saying we want to play like that, because I think one of the most exciting things about football is wing play. And it was sort of dying a little bit. Ornstein Bomber. Ornstein Bomber. Let's have a look. No, there isn't. We're not at half-time. No, it's a drinks break. Thank you very much, Suleiman. I'm starting to think those PSG players are monsters in disguise, says TJ. What teams that didn't make it into the Club World Cup do you think would have been good in the Club World Cup, says Sullivan? I think Liverpool, Barcelona, Napoli, Arsenal would have been 4 teams that would massively have enhanced this. I mean, look, if you imagine a 32-team Club World Cup with the 32 best teams in it, it would be great. And I wouldn't take 32 teams from Europe, by the way. I'd still want 4 or 5 Brazilian teams in it. I'd still want, Auckland City in it. But I want the best 10 European teams in it, or 12 European teams in it. Starting 5 attacking players with only 1 holding midfielder against Ruiz, Vitinha and Neves was always a tactical gamble destined to backfire, says Moshonga. Real need a system with proper wingers like when Benzema, Bale and Ronaldo as the front 3. I don't like the 2 strikers, says Move Maniac. And Mozza says these PSG kids are so hungry to win everything. Very motivational for young players and a statement in itself. 3-0, yet they're still pushing. Yeah, they are statement players, aren't they? And sorry, they are statement pushers. Like they're 3-0. They know they're through into the final, and I'm sure at some point we will see substitutions and a foot off the gas. But you don't need to do that in 35 minutes. And their mentality is to keep going forward and score goals, isn't it? I mean, Real Madrid have done nothing. I know it says they've had 20% possession. And they're 3-0 down. It's an embarrassment. Lawson says, as a Chelsea fan, I'm worried. Look, Chelsea will defend better than Real Madrid. And if Chelsea can attack better than Real Madrid, as we saw against Bayern, I think you've got to score first against PSG as well. But I think Chelsea will give them a better game than this. 80% possession for PSG. incredible. It's a statement, as I said. It's a statement result at the moment. And he needs to do something at half-time, Alonso, because it's a bit embarrassing. Talk to me. It's not always easy to spot what's going on. Oh, what a ball. If this could... No, he's overrun it. That's Vitinha again, isn't it? Or was it Ruiz? Absolutely sensational ball. Just got the wrong ball. Wrong pass. That's a nice ball out wide, though, to Mbappe. Just not playing with the same confidence going forward, Real Madrid, are they? And he's tackled. Oh, look at this. Oh, I mean, is that a passing of the guard? Kvaratskhelia wins the ball back from Mbappe. Goes on a big run. I think it was a foul, but the referee says play on. Lau says, I think Xabi Alonso has arrived about 5 years too early. That's the problem in football, though, isn't it? You know, Liverpool were going to give him the... I mean, look, you know, sliding doors moments, isn't it? I'm convinced that Liverpool were going to give Xabi Alonso the job to replace Klopp. And then Real Madrid tapped him up and said, wait a year for us. I don't know how true that is. It's just my interpretation. And, I mean, Liverpool... You know, as much as Alonso's a legend of the club, I think he's a legend, you'd be crazy to go back and say, yeah, I'd take Alonso over Slot. Hulson suspended, he's been good. Vinny and Mbappe shouldn't start big games together. They don't press or track back. Pray the board, get another centre-back, says Dream Winter. Thank you very much. Look, I think Real Madrid... What the hell is Mbappe trying to do there? That's never a penalty. Never in a million years. He has stayed down, but... I don't know why the referee hasn't played on. It's a foot injury. I mean, that's shocking refereeing. It's just not a foul, is it? Gets the ball on both. Tackles him twice. Such a good tackle, he did it twice. Maybe Mbappe just don't fancy it. Mark, after United, I liked Madrid the most, but after what Perez is trying to do to football, honestly, I don't want them to win anything, says Kevin. Is he still going after the Super League? Because I don't know why you would. I mean, you earn so much money from the Club World Cup and the Champions League now. Referee should not have blown the whistle there. Mbappe's down with a foot injury and PSG are on the break. He should have played on. It's only for a head injury or a serious injury that you should stop it. Should be booked for simulation, says Jordan. Where do you sit on Mbappe? I mean, I still think Mbappe is one of the best players in the world. I think it's such a shame because there was a time probably 2 years ago where I felt he was arguably the best player in the world. But there was always this question mark about him playing... Oh, look at this from PSG again. Kvaratskhelia, just wide. There was always this question mark about, well, he's playing in the French league. And it's a shame that now he's not playing in the French league. And it's been... Then again, he won the European Golden Boot. Yeah, we're talking like he's fell off. He won the European Golden Boot. Just on the big stage, he's not delivering, is he? Someone said, where do you sit on Mbappe? I'd sit on his face. Filth. Filth. Has Mbappe lost his pace? Why would he lose his pace? He's not that old, is he? Please read earlier super chat, says Wilbur. It must have slipped through, mate. Jide. Madrid regretting missing Euro. Still want to blame the number 9, but the Madrid defence is shocking, says Temptation, the City fan. Rodrigo in place of Mbermo, if possible, says Sonmath. This shows that it's the end of Pep Ball, surely, says Matthew. No chance. I've done that, Andre. They've intercepted it again, PSG here. Wilbur, you've only done one super chat. I can't even find your second one. Rashford to Madrid, says Ethan. Well, this is why I said, are Real Madrid actually actively looking to make any big signings in the summer transfer window? Good defending again. You see, PSG are a good defensive side. Yeah, Wilbur, you've just wasted everybody's time. I've been through the whole list of super chats and you only ever did one. Everyone boo Wilbur. It's not there, mate. You know what? Instead of saying it was a few minutes ago, why don't you copy and paste what you asked and I'd read it? But you haven't done it and I'm not listening to you anymore. Boo Wilbur for wasting everyone's time. Ruiz is hobbling here. He's got 2 goals. I suppose if you're a Chelsea fan, you might be thinking a knock to a PSG player or 2 might be a good thing. We're Madrid. What's this? We're Madrid back playing Ancelotti ball today, says Ethan. Oh, what was that? I tell you what, it's surprising to me how nobody really got the Kvaratskhelia hype, did they? I mean, we all knew who he was, but how good he is at PSG, it makes you wonder, like, did the Premier League miss the boat? If Chelsea defeat PSG in the final, they're best team, says DV. No. Chelsea beat PSG in the final, they win the Club World Cup. Not the best team in the world. That's not how it works. It worked like that for Chelsea fans, but that's not actually how it works to anybody else. Here we go. Despite recent rumours, Juventus haven't made any bids for Jadon Sancho and a deal isn't close as it stands. Great. Not surprised. Mbappe is a one-man show. He never made any partnerships with players, even like Haaland, De Bruyne kind of thing, says Cinema Drunk. Imagine if we did get Nuno Mendes in January. It'd be bloody stupid. Imagine if Nuno Mendes had signed for Man United in January instead of Dorgu. I mean, that would have been the biggest regret of his career. Daniel says, over 10 years and I've never seen you take a doo-doo break during a show. You're a beast, Mark. Just timing. Timing, isn't it? 3 minutes added on. It's felt like a very long half, and I'm sure it's a very long half for Real Madrid. I'm sure they wish it was full time instead of half time, because it could get worse. Hot out there as well. The thing is, I've seen, you know, sometimes you can be 3-0 down and go, we've made a couple of mistakes, we're still in the game. They've never been in the game. They've never been in this game. It's been absolute domination. Hi Mark, rate this midfield. Souness, Roy Keane and Vinnie Jones. Well, Vinnie Jones was not a very good midfielder. He was quite average. He's just very tough midfielder. Roy Keane was the complete midfielder, and I'm not old enough to remember Souness, so I can't. I fully comprehend why Ugarte was booted out and sent to United. Yeah, Ugarte would not work in this system, to be fair, but this is the best midfield in the world. Sheldon says, it seems like the best thing to ever happen to PSG is Kylian leaving for Madrid. Kylian leaves and PSG get better. Kylian goes to Madrid and they get worse. Wilbur, I found it. That's weird. I found it. I went into the back end. Hi Mark. Everyone gets everyone gets excited. Everyone needs to apologise to Wilbur now. Including me. I have found it, but it didn't show up on my list. I had to go into the back system. Hi Mark, everyone gets excited about signings, which is understandable, but is clearing out unwanted players equally important? Bad energy can kill a squad. Big fan of your content, even if you don't like us. Man City fan. I did it on purpose, really. That's why I was scamming you. No, you're absolutely correct. We've been saying, some of us have been saying this on the United stand for a couple of years now. Obviously, you do want to buy players, and that's always very exciting. But removing the shit is just as important. And I think in United's case, it's probably more important because you can't just keep buying new players and piling it on top of the shit. Like, you have to be able to remove players. And I think this is something that Chelsea do particularly well. They're very, very, very good at selling players, and Man United are very, very bad at selling players. And if you don't get rid of your shit, you get constipated. Wilbur's back. I found it. Cheer justice for Wilbur in the chat. Wilbur, win for Wilbur. Definitely couldn't see it, mate. I'm going back to where it was on this list. And yeah, so right in the back end, half time. In the back end, right, your super chat is between Somnath and Matthew Lunn. But on the live stream activity, there's nothing between Somnath and Matthew Lunn. It goes Jide on a boat, Matthew Lunn, Somnath, Temptation, the City fan. It's not there. But when I go into the back system, it's there in between them. It's really weird. It's very strange. Anyway, let's have a look at the stats at half time here. It's 3-0 to Real Madrid. Not Real Madrid. It's 3-0 to the best team in the world, PSG. Look at those stats. Look at those stats. I mean, the death of Pep football is here. And it's been replaced by an evolution that I've been waiting for a decade. This is football. That's football. They're a pleasure to watch. Everybody needs to start playing like this. Because I don't know what it's like in your country, but in the UK, we get teams in League 2 playing out from the back. Playing out from the back, looking for passing lanes, playing shit pragmatic football. Because Pep's here. Learn the PSG way. It's entertaining. It's exciting. 76% possession against Real Madrid. 12 shots, 7 on target. 402 passes, 96% passing accuracy. But it's entertaining. It's quick. It's direct. It's transformative. It's intense. It is the evolution of football. And if everybody's going to copy fucking Pep for the last 10 years, get a new tactical book and start copying this, because this is entertaining. This is football. I think there is not going to be anybody out there that doesn't want to see teams copying this. This is new football. This is it. This is what we want to see. Rodrigo, I've done that one from Somnath. I've done that. Okay. Thanks everyone for all your super chats. Please do subscribe. We're trying to hit 361,000 tonight. And we're only 10 away, I'm being told. So really appreciate you as normal. You're all welcome on That's Football. We have a daily transfer video going up every day at around midday as well. And watch-alongs are starting to come back now. We've got the final... Actually, I'm lying. Watch-alongs aren't starting to come back. We've got the final on Sunday. We do a lot of watch-alongs during the season. There's always Premier League ones at the weekend. When the Champions League's up, we do Tuesday, Wednesday. We've also got some interesting conversations going on about potentially other things as well. So keep your eyes peeled. It could be an interesting season on That's Football. Not necessarily on the United stand. We're not playing in Europe. But That's Football's doing good things next season. I really do think. So get subscribed, get involved, and everybody's welcome. Welcome is great, which leads to good conversation. I still believe in pragmatic football, Marky. Long live the back five. And that's from, the name says it all. Sir Gareth Southgate. Nick P says, I always think if you moan your super chat didn't get read out, you better have something good to say. It's like telling a joke twice, never works out. To be fair, Nick, it was a good super chat from Wilbur. It was very good. It was basically saying that people focus on signings when actually it's just important to get rid of the shit. I mean, you look at Man City, you know, you've got to get rid of Grealish, haven't you? Like, there's, you know, I'm not saying he's Rashford, but you know, you don't want Jack Grealish around next season because his personality and the way he is. You know, it's going to be better for all parties to move on. Thing is about Grealish, I've always said this, and I don't know whether it happened in any of your FIFA career modes, but I remember when he signed for Man City, I said something along the lines of, I think he's signed for the wrong club, and I can see in his late 20s he's going to be back at Villa or playing for Everton, and it almost feels like that is what's going to happen with him. I don't know where you go if you're Jack Grealish, because Man City paid £100 million for him and he's on brilliant wages. And a little bit like Rashford, he isn't worth what City think he is, and he's probably not worth the wages either. But he needs to leave and he needs to play somewhere. So I'd be very interested to see what happens with him, because I can almost see him staying at City and just not being used. So Jim Radcliffe's in the chat. He says, hush, Mark. Hush, Mark. At the end of the day, we've put our announcements out for the away kit. Passes the Champers for the 16th. And that's why we're waiting for Mbermo. You're welcome for getting him. Be grateful. Mark, I genuinely have done that from Wilbur. Thank you very much. Brian B says that Madrid's issue is two left wingers playing striker, a completely unbalanced front line, and the lack of a pure deep line playmaker a la Cruz. Look, if you want to talk to me about... if you want me to talk to you about the problems with Real Madrid, as a Man United fan, I definitely can. And they are... he's got a bit of a problem, Alonso, because you need to... why is bro hugging the chair? I have lower back issues. I was just giving a bit of a stretch. I want to put this in the right way. Sort of touched on it in the first half. We've spoken about PSG at length over the last few months. Fantastic side. But I really do think with Real Madrid, Alonso's not going to get the sack. I'm not saying that. But I think against the big... Look, they're going to stat pad in La Liga, aren't they? They might even win La Liga. But I think in the Champions League, they're going to really struggle with Alonso in year one. I think it's going to take more than this season for Alonso to get things up and running. It's such a change of system. and he's going to struggle in a very different way to Amrim, but in a very similar way. He's got to teach players that are very accustomed to a certain way of playing a new way of playing. And in a way, it's harder for Alonso because the expectations are higher and the players are better. So, all right, he hasn't got a Cristiano Ronaldo there, but you are going in there and talking to people like Vinicius Junior and Mbappe, and you're getting them to play a system that they've probably never played. And it's a system where you have to work really hard. So I think he might have a bit of a bumpy ride in year one. And what I would say as a United fan who's seen it with Amrim, we actually want our manager to get new players. We actually want a clear out. We actually want the new system to work, and we're actually patient for it to work if he's given the players. At Real Madrid, do Real Madrid need to reinvent the wheel? Because that's what they're going to have to do. And that's why I was saying about signings. What signings are they actually making for him? Because when I look at Trent, Hulsen, Alvaro Fernandez, this to me is all about the back five or the back three or whatever you want to call it. But his midfield's quite stacked, but the front three situation, I don't know. I think it's going to be an adjustment season for Real Madrid. I certainly wouldn't say that you're going to win the Champions League next year. Do you have a favourite American NFL team, Mark? Says Goob. I always liked Dallas Cowboys because my grandparents, rest in peace, went to the United States in probably the late 80s, actually. Maybe the early 90s. I think, no, it was definitely the late 80s. They went to the United States in the late 80s because I remember what house I lived in now. And, well, they definitely went in the late 80s because I got hit round the head with a baseball bat, which is a different story. But they went to the United States in the 80s, and they came back with a load of American memorabilia. I had like a baseball bat and a glove and a ball, and they brought me like a cap of, I think it was the Oakland Raiders. Is that MLB? That's a band, isn't it? NBL. Anyway, that's baseball, isn't it? And I got a Dallas Cowboys top. So I always supported Dallas Cowboys because my grandparents gave me that. But since I've been into the NFL, I actually like the Buffalo Bills. I have got to say, I like the Buffalo Bills. And also, I think with the NFL, your team very rarely gets to the final. So I think it's one of those sports where you can just appreciate the teams in a more general sense. Maybe you should get rid of Mbappe, says Leper Messiah. Never going to happen, is it? They're never... I mean, look. I don't think Real Madrid have got the same problems as Manchester United, but tell me where Mbappe goes other than the Saudi League. Maybe that's the only way, because there ain't no European team that's going to pay those wages. Absolutely not. I think he'll be there for a while. Do you think Chelsea has a chance against PSG? Yes, Albert. I do. I think PSG will be favourites, but I don't think Chelsea haven't got a chance if they can defend well. I think they've got a chance. Matthew Lunn's brought it back. Books that will never be written. Manchester United and the Art of Negotiations. Arsenal, How to Succeed in Europe. And Pep, How to Play Exciting Football. What about... I've got a few. I'm just trying to think. Don't slow it down. Don't slow it down. I'll leave it to you for a moment. If you're PSG, which position would you look to improve? I think if they get a more prolific right winger, they'll be scarier. I don't agree with that. I think that I'd be looking at strength in depth, which is always difficult. But you know, if they lost Dembele, Hakimi, and Vitinha to injury, who comes in? Thank you very much. Books that don't get written. Gareth Southgate, the most interesting person at a party. Marcus Rashford, I was worth 300k a week. Garnacho. No, I'll stop there. I've not heard of How to Win Gracefully at Badminton by Anne Diamonds, Stephen. I don't know what that story is, but it makes me funny. Southgate's England will be seen as a golden era, mark my words. No. It really, really won't. It will be with a certain age group, but anybody over 35 will not put Southgate's England time as a golden era. They'll put it down as a massive waste. We England over the last 7 years should have won something, a World Cup or a Euros. The reason we didn't overachieve with Southgate, we underachieved. We should have won the Euros at Wembley. That was a home final where you 1-0 up. We should have won. Look at New York. Oh, it's amazing. It's amazing. Yeah, massive underachievement with Southgate. And I actually think we're on the down now. I actually think England are getting worse. I think England were a decent team 4 years ago. I think our peak was the Euros, actually. I think that was the time. That's probably not far from the hotel I was staying in there. Oh, it's just bloody ruined it now. Start, bench, sell. Isak, Gyökeres, Sesko. I will bench Sesko. Sorry, I will sell Sesko. I will bench Gyökeres and I will start Isak at the moment. Because Isak's the only one that's Premier League proven, which is the best league in the world. And I think Gyökeres is better than Sesko. Shoulda, woulda, coulda, Mark, says James. Garnacho and how to respect your manager, says A2. Garnacho, I'll never wear the shirt of a rival. How to Clear Your Debt by Joel Glazer, says Simon. Do you think Rodrigo will leave Madrid this transfer window, says EXO. I mean, looking at how vulnerable Real Madrid are, I can't understand why you'd want to get rid of Rodrigo, but it's looking like it's going to happen. There's a lot of work to do. What about Rodrigo to Liverpool, says Jordan? I think he'd suit that system perfectly. I mean, I've not heard anything, but I think he'd suit that system. Gary Neville says, waking up at noon. No, Gary Neville's book would be Dirty Stop Out. Like a dirty stop out, someone who goes out drinking late and everything like that. He's in bed at 9 o'clock. How to Clear Your Debt by done that one. Done that one from Albert. Book title. Mark Goldbridge. How to rate a bird. How to bed a bird by rating them on holiday. That was funny, Joel. Gary Neville waking up at noon. Yeah, defo. Jordan Leaks his thoughts on Rodrigo to Liverpool. Is there something happened with that then? Football According to Mark Goldbridge, which actually is a book, Dylan. Been out for a year now. Sunday Times bestseller when it was out. Check it out. Still available. Gary Neville, book title that will never get written, The Night Shift. I have thought about it a few times. If you're somebody that goes to bed at 9:30 every night, there's a lot of things you can't do. You can't watch Newsnight. You can't watch Match of the Day. Although maybe Saturday night he does stay up. Sir Jim Radcliffe says, books that won't get written by me. I'm not cheap and a bad owner. No, yours would be, the book title that will never get written by Sir Jim Radcliffe would be Reviving Manchester United. There's a lot of empty seats, Mark. I think people have gone for a drink at half time. I actually think there's a lot of people at this game. But they're just not back in their seat yet. Valerina says, do you record something or watch it on demand? I can't remember the last time I recorded something, actually. Because most things I would want to watch would be on demand, yeah. I remember bloody... I remember videotapes. I remember recording stuff on videotapes. Oh, my God. I remember, like... I always used to say to my mum the week before Christmas, make sure you buy 4 VHS tapes. She's like, why? I said, because I've ringed everything on the Radio Times that I want to record over Christmas. There's something on ITV when we're watching bloody EastEnders. It'd be brilliant. Anyway, we're up and running for the second half. I vaguely remember Video Plus. Genuinely want your opinion, says Jacob. Does Pedro's goal yesterday show Man United don't need a striker in before pre-season? I don't understand that logic, Jacob. What are you trying to say? He came in and scored goals straight away, so that could happen for United. Yeah, apart from the fact that Chelsea's system is probably more similar to what he plays at Brighton, and Man United's system is something that a striker will never have played. Goldbridge and Southgate are happy endings, says Mabeen. Mark, you talk about the super teams being built in the Prem. Well, these are both super teams. Is Mbappe to blame, or Galactico teams just don't work, says X Revenge. I don't think you're making a good point there, mate. I'm talking about squad depth being absolutely essential in the modern game if you want to win your domestic league and the Champions League. You're talking about an individual. This could be four. What a finish. He might be offside. The flag's gone up on Doué. Genuinely want your opinion. Thank you very much, Jacob. Chelsea got their bag packs. It's over, says Murio. No, I don't think they've got anything to lose. Go into it. I don't think this is offside. I don't think Dembele is offside when the first pass gets played. Oh. I'm going to have to watch that again. I don't think he was offside. Oh, yeah, probably is, yeah. 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 Evening, Mark. Hope you're well. What's the most Man United game you look forward to this season? I don't know that I'm looking forward. I mean, obviously, I'm looking forward to a game. Again, any fan of any club, no matter how shit they are, looks forward to their team playing football again. But, I don't know a team that I think we're going to beat at the moment. I'm looking forward to Burnley, actually. Cannot wait for the Leeds game, says Lee. Oh, they're in here, Real Madrid. No, they're not. No, they're not. No, they're not. Too slow. They don't have the pace in the final third that PSG have got, do they? Arsenal first game. I wouldn't be surprised if Man United win that, Stuart. Everyone's going to say we're going to get battered, and Arsenal are such a good team, and they've bought all these players. But you can catch a team cold on the opening day. I've seen it so many times. How many teams have lost or drawn their opening game and gone on and won the league? So I think we might catch Arsenal cold. It's at Old Trafford. Players will hopefully have a point to prove, be fit, etc. Tchouameni's gone down injured here. And didn't really look like much of a foul, to be fair. Holidaying with Geese by Mark Goldbridge, says Parker. Thank you, mate. Could you send Seb to Manchester City Youth, says Daniel? It'd have to be good enough, mate. I mean, it's very competitive. Did you see Arsenal and Sporting talks have stalled, says Dazza? Yeah, but hasn't Romano just given an update saying it's not a concern at the moment? Would you take Rodrigo at United, says Aldo? I'd take Rodney from East End, only Fools and Horses at United at the moment. I mean, bloody hell. Would you take Rodrigo? I mean, of course I bloody would. Are you being a bit disrespectful to Burnley? No, I think everybody is expecting to beat Burnley, Sunderland and Leeds. Their challenge is to prove people wrong. But based on the last 2 years, the three newly promoted teams have been relegated easily. So it's not fair on Leeds, Sunderland and Burnley, but that's going to be the perception until they change that perception. I don't see how Sunderland have got a bloody chance, actually. PSG coming in forward again. It's been a better first 6 minutes from Real Madrid here. Obviously had a bit of a talking to, but having said that, no, they've won that back well. Just can't live with them, can they? I've been a bit disappointed with Vinicius Junior recently. Yeah, I mean, for me, he's been one of the best players in the world. And I really like him as a player, but I've got to say, I can't remember the last time I watched him and thought, he's anywhere near what he was. That's a wild shot by Mbappe. He ain't looking that good, is he? How to beat a honey badger, Mark Goldberg edition. Even Seb was talking about honey badgers the other day. People are obsessed with honey badgers. I'm not convinced that they're that hard. Let me have another picture of a honey badger. Honey badger's this, honey badger's that. Just look like a bloody squirrel. Just a slightly bigger squirrel. Right. You know how tall they are? 23 to 28 centimetres. Right. From my desk. Look, that's it. There. Not even 12 inches. I should know what 12 inches is, actually. That's how tall a honey badger is at its shoulder. Less than 12 inches. That's giving me an idea what I could knock it out with. I'm sorry, I'm not getting into trouble with the RSPCA because they are not native to the UK. They live in Africa, Southwest Asia, and the Indian subcontinent. But, they're aggressive. It's like, it's like a pissed squirrel, aren't you? Oh, like Scrappy-Doo. I'm hard, I am. Look, everyone in the live chat says I'm hard. Little 1-2, bang. Hypothetically. I'm not getting knocked out by a bloody... by a honey badger. Get yourself down Sainsbury's and suck on a bloody pot of honey. This happened last year. People get obsessed about honey badgers. 100 griller versus a honey badger. Yeah. Honey badger for tea, gorillas. Daniel says, how dare you say your son is not good enough? Be positive. Worst father in the world. I'm taking him away from you and put him in a Liverpool youth, says Daniel. No, look, I love watching Seb play football, and but it's like there's some fantastic players. Fantastic players. But you know what? I also think it's really sad because I was watching a game last season and they were a good team and they beat Seb's team quite convincingly. And one of the dads was shouting at his kid, considering this is under 8s, shouting at his kid constantly, to the point where the lad was just crying. And I thought, you know what? I felt like saying to the dad, why didn't you go out and do something with your life? And why are you, basically trying to live your life through your kid for some meal ticket? Because it's just sad to see kids unhappily playing football because they'll be doing about 6 1-to-1s a day, probably playing every bloody time, get in the garden, that's not how I fell in love with football. It's not how people fall in love with football. And also, I think just because you're good at 8, remember I've played the game. I know a lad who didn't really start playing football till he was 10. And by the time he was 14, he was playing for the county. He was having trials, the lot. So I just think enjoyment is the biggest thing, and Seb enjoys playing, and that's the biggest thing for me. And also, I think, do you have to end up being a professional footballer? No. But I always think if you know how to play football and you're sporty, it's always a good thing when you go to secondary school and stuff. But it does happen a lot. It probably happens where you live as well. There's pushy parents, and it's really sad to see because some of these kids are really talented, but I don't know that they're enjoying it. How do you see Frank doing at Spurs, says Rebecca? In a way, I think he's got an easier job than Alonso at Real Madrid because the expectations at Spurs won't be the same. And also, he's taking over a team that lost over 20 Premier League games. I certainly don't think he's going to do that. So I think that there's a core of players there that if they work... The big thing for Thomas Frank is Spurs have got talented players, but they've never been consistent, and they're a light switch team. If he can get them to work hard like Brentford, they could be a team to watch. I wouldn't put them in the top 4 though. Good question, Rebecca. So first, is the first substitution for PSG here? I think it is. Dembele coming off, Ramos coming on, 3-0 up, safe to do that. Good time to do it. So I wanted to have a quick look and see. Why? Bear with. It's been sent something about a transfer, so I just wanted to double check. No, it's a load of crap. I got sent something there about something else that's irrelevant. Mark Goldbridge versus a polar bear. Who wins? I don't want to flex him a fist. I'll get absolutely mauled. May as well give me a life-sized burger bun and put me in it. I'll just lie there and say chew away. You get absolutely hammered. Oh, lovely interception here. Down the left-hand side. Cross comes by. It's a terrible cross. Terrible cross there. Barcola. He's come on for Kvaratskhelia. Real Madrid haven't made any subs. Modric is coming on to Samantha. Slide says honey badgers. Oh, good cross, good defending by Real Madrid there. Honey badgers can bite through a turtle's shell. Well, I can bite through Thornton's toffee with Brazil nut in it, and that's tough. I don't care whether it can bite through a bloody baseball bat. Can it take an uppercut to the chin and a kick to the arse? Bite that when you're snoozing. Isn't Modric going to AC Milan? He ain't going to stop. He ain't going to stop. Cross comes in from Real Madrid. Oh, good defending again. At this rate, there'll be AI referees. Game's gone, says Samsung. What's your ideal type of goal to score, says Vibber? I think you remember Scholes against Villa, where the corner comes in and it just drops in the air and he blank smash. I think a volley. For me, what's your favourite? I've got to say volley. Yeah, volley. Johnny. I'm not going to get into it, Johnny. I have read your chat. And I can't comment on it. I can't comment on it. I think you've been deleted anyway by... I mean, I don't think he needs to be hidden gems. I think it's just a question I wouldn't answer. I'll put him back. We shouldn't block him for that. At this rate, there'll be AI referees. What's your ideal type of goal to score? Yeah, definitely a volley. Vibber. Honey badger would kill a polar bear twice. Shut up. Shut up. Can you get a honey badger in a studio so we can settle this? I don't know what your obsession is with honey badgers, but I would beat it. Who wins, Gary Neville or Rodney Trotter in a fight? Gary Neville. Any news on Gyökeres to Honey Badger FC, says Beans. Weird. What? Do your daughters like K-pop? I don't know. Daniel. I don't know. What's your favourite football kits that have come out so far? I actually do like the Juventus one. I don't know why it's getting a lot of stick. I actually quite like the... I do like it. I like Juventus kits anyway. The Inter kit looks nice as well. Okay, back in the room. Sorry there, I was just sorting something out. For me, a one-touch pass team move that I finished, says Bibor. That's his favourite goal. Lee Berman says, a great white shark would wipe them all out if it could function on land. A honey badger would probably get done in by a seal in the sea, says Lee Berman. Well, especially if it can't swim. You know, you could have the best UFC fighter in the world, but if they can't swim, I'll batter them in 2 meters of water. Because all they'll be doing is, I can't swim, and I'll be going, don't care, don't care, don't care. Obviously, I will save them when I've won, but water can be a great leveler. Hope you are well, Mark. Starting to miss the football now, despite the fact I know we ain't ready. This is Tom McBride. I've enjoyed this game. Who'd win in a fight, Gary Barlow or Gary Neville? I think they both look after themselves. Probably just sing it out. Ben Eltham says Scholes versus Villa, Beckham versus Wimbledon, or Cantona versus Liverpool in the 96 Cup final. Well, the Cantona goal meant the most because we beat Liverpool in the Cup final. The Beckham goal was iconic, and the Scholes goal was just pure habit. 50 honey badgers or 5 Kantes. Who's winning? I'm backing the Kante. I think 5 Kantes would kick the shit out of 20 honey badgers in the first few seconds, and then, you know, bring it on for the next 30. I've still got 20 minutes of this game to go. There's not going to be a way back for Real Madrid. But statistically, it's got to be disappointing. 1 shot on target. Real Madrid are in again. Ramos! Side netting. Not even side netting. Lonzo's getting a lot of stick in the chat. He's another Amorim, says Dom. Rodrigo's not been brought on, no. Modric, Militao, Carvajal, Diaz. Well, Real Madrid had a shot there, but Donnarumma's almost taking the piss. The way he collects it. When's the final? Sunday night at 8 o'clock. They're having a drinks break here. I'm going to have one as well. Do you think Chelsea have any chance of beating PSG in the final? I don't, and I hope they get absolutely battered. Sorry, I can't stand Chelsea, says Dari. I think Chelsea have got a chance. I think that they're an energetic side. They're a Premier League side. They're a fit side. They've got a lot of options. They can score goals. They defend quite well. Look, PSG will be favourites, but I watched that Bayern Munich game against PSG, and I thought, you know what, there was a chance there. So, yeah, I think it'd be a better game than this one. I think look, I think Chelsea got nothing to lose. They're going to earn 80 million quid minimum, and they get to play against the best team in the world in the final of a tournament that will have a lot of people watching it, even if the rest of the tournament didn't. Would you go on I'm a Celebrity, says Liam. Would I go on I'm a Celebrity? Would I go on I'm a Celebrity? I'll be absolutely honest. It would have to be huge money for two reasons. One, I wouldn't be able to do any of my normal work for the month because I would end up winning it, let's be honest. And two, I absolutely think it would send me crazy being in a situation like a Big Brother or a I'm a Celebrity camp. So it would have to be ridiculous money. I mean, we're talking 50k. No, I wouldn't. I'd need a lot more than that. Damp User says, snapping her fingers and shuffling her feet, singing do-a-diddy-dum-diddy-do. She looks good, she looks fine, and I nearly lost my mind. Strange super chat, but I know the song. It's a 3v2, and actually that's good defending there by Militao. Maybe he should have been on from the first half. Greatest goal ever, Carlos Alberto, 1970 World Cup final. We've all seen it, Jason. I grew up on that. VHS tapes. Brazil, 1970. My granddad had that. It's crazy what access you have to football these days, and yet we have when we were growing up, we had 4 channels. Unless you'd recorded it on the TV, you had to go and buy VHS tape. So I had this, well, I didn't have it, my granddad had it, but Story of Man United, Brazil 1970, 101 greatest goals. I mean, I've seen that goal in the FA Cup by Ronnie Radford about 1 million times on that muddy pitch. Look at the ultras behind the goal there. They're having a great time. PSG ultras, they're on holiday. Why wouldn't you go? New York in the sun in June. Why wouldn't you? Another substitution. And it's not Rodrigo. Look, I really hope we see Rodrigo in the Premier League. For me, obviously I prefer Vinicius Jr., but I really like those two players. It's not June, it's July. Sorry. Simpsons Hit and Run or FIFA Street? I don't remember playing either of those games. I feel really bad. I don't remember playing either of those games. Let me have a look. I don't think it was my era. I don't remember playing them games. No. I'm surprised I didn't pay FIFA Street. When did that come out? FIFA Street. 2006. No, I was into Pro Evo then. Pro Evo 06. Pro Evo is probably one of the best games ever. Like, I absolutely loved it. But no, I didn't play FIFA Street. I'm just looking at the images. Tell you what, as much as EAFC gets a lot of stick, we've really enjoyed playing Rush, me and Seb. Premier League signing of the summer, says Simon. So far, I really do like the signing of Liam Delap. No. I think Cherky being in the Premier League, as much as it's Man City, is interesting. I think he's an interesting player. Obviously, Wirtz at Liverpool is going to be very interesting. I've got to say I'm excited about Frimpong. I think he's a player that I think will do well. From an Arsenal point of view, I think Zubimendi is really interesting as well. And obviously, if they get Gyökeres, I wouldn't say I'm excited, but I do think he's a good player. Do you think match fixing is involved in United games? I also think from watching some of this tournament, and I said it on the United stand this morning, I really hope Richard Rios comes to the Premier League. But I also think the Botafogo striker at Forest is going to do well. I'm absolutely convinced he's going to do well. Adriano, 99 shot power, elite striker Pro Evo, says Silent Hill. Dave King says, do you think match fixing is involved in United games? Just wondering why the players are so inconsistent. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, you can take that to court. No, I mean, God, I'd like to think there is no match fixing ever involved in football. I know that's not always the case, but no, they're just not good enough, mate. It's not match fixing. They're just not. They're not very good. Corner here. It's been a bit of an anticlimax this second half. The first half was great for half an hour, but Real Madrid have not had any comeback at all. And PSG have just took the foot off the pedal a little bit. Simon says, what's the most bizarre transfer you've ever seen? I'll let you in the chat do that because I'm getting to the point where I just don't want to think. Ooh, header there. Thought it was going to go in. Militao. Done all right since he came on. If he can stay fit, good player. It's like Alaba, isn't it? He's just constantly been injured. That ref cam shit. They need to get rid of that. I thought Raheem Sterling to Arsenal was a bit odd. Most bizarre transfer. There we go. How many do you think PSG will beat Chelsea by? Look, they've pumped Real Madrid 3-0. They pumped Inter in the final. So people are automatically going to think Chelsea are going to get pumped. But that can be a motivator in itself. Chelsea have got to defend well. This PSG team are not the sort of team... Look, if PSG win on Sunday... Sorry, if Chelsea win on Sunday, they won't win because they play PSG off the park. Every Chelsea fan knows that Chelsea don't play that way anyway. So they're not going to go toe-to-toe and beat them with better football. So what they've got to do is defend well and take their chances. I don't think there's a team in world football that's capable of going toe-to-toe with PSG at the moment. That's the challenge. Maybe there will be next season. Maybe it'll be Liverpool. Maybe it'll be Barcelona. Maybe it'll be Arsenal. Maybe it'll be Man City. Maybe it'll be Bayern Munich. But that doesn't mean that Chelsea can't win. There's more than one way to win a game of football. Good shot by... That's Militao again, isn't it? Been Real Madrid's best player. I'd worry about Chelsea's goalkeeper a bit. I mean, that's still an area that I'm surprised that they haven't solved. It's a lovely ball, that is. He's just got to square it. He's just got to square it. And he has. Oh, Barcola's messed it up. Or has he? 4-0, Ramos. They seemed to make that harder than it needed to be. They had a lovely breakaway again. Lovely breakaway again. Ramos does the Jota celebration. Obviously, fellow teammate of Portugal. Which is a nice tribute. Again, as so many people have done this last few days. But Barcola should have scored anyway. They managed to turn it in to make it 4 anyway. But look at the way that pass, is that Vitinha again? That pass down the right hand side is absolutely fantastic. And Barcola doesn't quite... I think it was Hakimi didn't quite get the cross there. Barcola doesn't quite deal with it, but he feeds it into Ramos and it's a lovely little turn. Yeah. Madrid have not been good. 33% possession to 67, and they've been battered 4-0. A lot of work for Alonso to do, and the thing about Real Madrid is it's not the club where patience necessarily exists. They don't like the idea of we need to be patient for the next 2 years while we build this system that might not work. So he's got to get things moving a lot quicker. But they're a pleasure to watch, aren't they, PSG? I think that's the thing. I mean, for me included as well, I wasn't expecting this season. Well, I remember saying quite early doors, it's quite interesting seeing a PSG side without stars in it. I mean, there are stars in it now, but last season at the start there wasn't. They've definitely built a team and got rid of the Galacticos. On DAZN commentary, who are British, just said Lee is the first Korean to win the Champions League. Have they not heard of Park Ji-sung? Yeah. Views. Terrible. Nothing tops Ravanelli to Middlesbrough. Well, I've enjoyed the game. I mean... But yeah, going back to Real Madrid, he's got a tough job on his hands, Alonso, because they won't put up with finishing second and not doing well in the Champions League, regardless of the logical explanation being that they need time to get used to the system. You won't get that sort of time at this football club. He's blown the whistle bang on 90 minutes here, which was nice of him, because I'm sure there was added time, but he's just said no. Technically, he's cheated there, because just because it's 4-0 and everyone wants it to be over doesn't mean that you should end it at 90 minutes. But thankfully he has. 4-0. Paula Chin says, I don't recognise this Madrid side. Look, it's a massive job for Alonso. I'd say it's a bit like Amorim. You don't know which way it's going to go. You really don't. There's a lot. One team looks sensational, the other team looks lost, and that's what I would say about that. But look, Alonso's not had any time. He's not had a pre-season as well. I think that people talk about the Club World Cup, the impact on players. Where is Alonso's pre-season that he really, really needs? These players haven't had a holiday yet. So where's his pre-season, which he absolutely needs? So they've got some money out of this, but there we go. TJ says, I've loved the watch-along. Great show. Well, thank you very much, everybody, for sharing it with me and spending it with me. Really enjoyed that. We will have some content back for you tomorrow, as we do every day. I'm live on the United Stand, of course, at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. And we will have the Club World Cup final for you on Sunday between Chelsea and PSG. Looking forward to it. Take care, everyone. Speak to you in a bit.